Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you guys how to make spaghetti and meatballs. So in case you guys want to learn how to make this super easy and delicious recipe, just stay tuned and I'll show you how. Alrighty guys, so let's get started with our ingredients. So for this recipe we're going to need 2 pounds of ground beef, 1 bunch of fresh parsley, 1 small bunch of fresh basil, 1 small white onion, 6 garlic cloves, 1 cup and a half of finely shredded Parmesan cheese, 1 cup of Italian style breadcrumbs, a half a cup of milk, 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 cups of crushed tomatoes, 16 ounces of tomato sauce, 1 pound of spaghetti pasta, vegetable oil, 1 teaspoon of sugar, black pepper, oregano, and salt. So these are ingredients. Now let's get started. Alright guys, so first we're going to start by chopping our parsley. So we're aiming to get half a cup of parsley. Make sure we get the half a cup. Alright, so once we get a half a cup of freshly chopped parsley, we're going to divide it into 2. So half of it is going to go for our meatballs, and then the other half is going to be used for our sauce. So that's going to be 1/4 of a cup for each side. Alright, so we're going to do the same with our basil. 1/4 of a cup is going to go for our meatballs, and the other 1/4 of a cup is going to go for our sauce. So we're aiming to get a half a cup of basil. Transfer it. Alright, so now we're going to dice our onion. So half of it is going to go for the meatballs, and the other half is going to be used for the sauce. Alright, so once we have our onions chopped, we're going to transfer them to the bowl. So now we're going to do the same with the garlic cloves. 3 garlic cloves are going to be for our sauce and 3 for the meatballs. We're going to mince our garlic using the little garlic press. Alright, so once you have your 3 garlic cloves minced, transfer them into your bowl. Alright, so once we have our basil, parsley, onion, and garlic cloves nicely chopped and separated, we are ready to work on our meatballs. Alright, so first we're going to beat our eggs. Okay, so once we have our eggs beaten, we're going to grab a big bowl. Alright, so we're going to add a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of black pepper, and a half a teaspoon of oregano. Transfer it to your meat. And just kind of mix it. Okay, so now we're going to add 1 cup of breadcrumbs. And just kind of mix it again. Okay, then we're going to add our egg, our milk, and now just mix it all well. Alright, so now we're going to add our parsley, basil, onion, and garlic. and 1 cup of Parmesan cheese. Okay, so now we're going to mix it all well together. Make sure your hands are clean. Alright, so once everything is nicely combined, we are ready to make our meatballs. So the meatballs is going to depend on the size that you want them. I'm just going to use my ice cream scooper as a guide like that. So mine are going to be just as big like this. So we're just going to form our little balls like that. So just as big as a golf ball. Okay, so just like that. So we're just going to repeat the process until we no longer have any meat to roll. Alright guys, so once we have our meatballs all nicely rolled, I was able to make 20 of them, so now we are going to get ready to cook them. Alright, so in a large frying pan, I'm going to set it on medium heat, and I'm going to add 1 cup of our vegetable oil. Alright, so once our oil is hot, we're going to start to place our meatballs. And we're going to cook them for 3 minutes each side. Alright, so after 3 minutes, we're going to flip them over and cook that side for another 3 minutes. And of course, if you rather bake them instead of frying them, you can always do that too. Alright, so after 3 minutes, we're going to remove them from the oil and set them in a kitchen towel to drain all the excess oil. And then finish cooking the other meatballs. Alright, so just repeat the process until you no longer have any meatballs to fry. Alright, so once we're done with the meatballs, we are ready to work on our marinara sauce. Alright guys, so in a medium saucepan, we're going to set it on medium heat. We're going to add our 2 tablespoons of butter. And once that melts, we will begin making our sauce. Alright, so once our butter has melted, we're going to add our onion, garlic, parsley, and basil. And we're just going to saute it for 2 minutes. Right, so after 2 minutes, we're going to pour our tomato sauce. Our 2 cups of crushed tomatoes. And half a cup of water. Okay, so mix it. And now we're going to add our sugar. Alright, so I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of black pepper, and a half a teaspoon of oregano. So now just mix it all together, and of course the salt is going to depend on your liking. So you can try it for salt and see how that tastes. And if you need some, adjust it to your liking. For me, it's perfect. Alright, so once that begins to simmer, we're going to add our meatballs. Okay, so as soon as it begins to simmer, we're going to lower down the heat to the lowest setting. Throw in our meatballs. So once we have our meatballs in our marinara sauce, we're going to cover it and let that simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. Meanwhile, we can start working on our pasta. Alright guys, so after 15 minutes, we're going to remove the lid and let it continue simmering for another 10 to 15 minutes. Remember, on low heat. Alright, so we wait for our meatballs to finish cooking. We're going to work on our spaghetti. So here I already have the water boiling, so I'm going to add some salt. And I'm just going to place my spaghetti pasta. And just cook them according to your packet. Alright, so once our spaghetti is done, we're going to turn it off and remove it from the stove and drain the water. At this point, your sauce should be done. Alright, and this is the consistency of our sauce. So that's what it should look like. Alright guys, so now for the fun part, serving. So make sure that you start by placing a good generous amount of spaghetti. Alright, so now we're going to grab our sauce and put it on top of our spaghetti. Just like that. We're gonna grab our meatball, place it like that. Like that. Okay. Just like that. Next, we're going to grab more Parmesan cheese. Sprinkle it on top. And I'm going to serve it with a side of salad and garlic bread. So now, enjoy. Alrighty guys, and now for the best part, the taste test. Got some of that meat. I am so ready. So flavorful. Everything is delicious. Seriously, the best meatballs I have ever tried. So good. Everything is perfect. And of course, you know, if you don't want to make your own sauce, you can always use the store-bought. But honestly, it's super easy and it's super delicious. Alrighty guys, and there you have it on how I make spaghetti and meatballs. I hope you guys had enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and if you recreate this recipe, please don't forget to tag me on any of my social medias. And if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button so you guys can be part of our family. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, no, no. Eres perfecta mujer, de la cabeza a los pies. Tú pasas de mi nivel, tú tienes el piquete. De la forma que tú besas, mami, más simétrica que un origami. De la forma que tú besas, mami, más simétrica que un origami. Eres perfecta.